Hello, 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 beloveds. It's Kirstin here again for our Morning of the Dove, and I am so grateful to be with you. Our weekly topic is deciding to rise. Yesterday, we talked about that holy decision, the decision to rise. And today, we're going to talk about wholeness, remembering wholeness. And this is so important in our decision to rise. So, welcome. Welcome. This is the Morning of the Dove. I am Kirstin Hanson. This is our daily consecration, returning us to the eternal love of the divine presence. It's an opportunity to lean into devotion by embracing a sacred pause, and we do this together. This is an opportunity to allow the life-giving breath that runs through you to anchor in and to return your awareness to the presence that is always here within you. So welcome, beloveds. And to open, we're going to anchor in this living breath, this time together. We're going to consecrate. That means to bring together, to anchor in our time together in breath, bringing ourselves into our body, bringing ourselves into awareness, allowing you and affording you the opportunity to sit in stillness, to move into that peaceful state that allows for the infinite to emerge into your awareness. So please, I invite you to place your hand on your heart. And if you don't feel inclined to do that, feel free to place them upwards on your lap to allow yourself to receive the divine presence. So now, what I invite you to do is just close your eyes and take that inhale in, recognizing that sustenance of all that is, recognizing the beauty of this thing called you, recognizing that within every breath is the miracle of wholeness, which is your natural state. That in this breath, nothing is missing. And we give thanks and gratitude, knowing that in this moment of recognition, the divine is here to guide us into deeper awareness of this universal truth. And so it is. And so we begin. Our conversation is Wholeness Remembered. And let's talk about this conversation of wholeness. So in the Science of Mind teachings, also in the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and down into the Bible, if you do it in an interpreted mystical way rather than religious dogma, you recognize then even the Buddhists, right? The Enlightenment, the Tao, all of these teachings move you into a state of consciousness, which is non-dual. And in this place of non-duality, the universal truth is that the universe is whole, which means that you, in fact, are whole as well. You are a divine being that is part of this universe. You are one with this universe. There is an interconnectedness. It is an inextricable link. You are it and it is you. So if the universe is whole, so therefore you are. And there's a line, you cannot add 1 cubit stature. 1 inch to cubit stature. You just can't, because you're already full. Now, in this teaching, the mind is what brings up the illusion of separateness and fragmentation and not enoughness. So, in this teaching today, our emphasis is to have even a moment of remembering that everything you need is already here. And there is nothing wrong with where you're at. There is no need to judge where you're at. There might be things you don't have, but that is not a part of your wholeness or lack thereof, because there is no lack of wholeness within you. You are perfectly whole and complete. Your feelings and your mind convince you otherwise, but the natural state of the universe is wholeness. So for us to rise, we must begin to cultivate an awareness of this wholeness. And part of it is done through repetitive affirmation, repetitive programming, neuroprogramming of the mind, rewiring, somatically calming our nerves and bringing ourselves into a peaceful state. Also, there is a practice, there's a devotion that is essential to cease identifying with what is broken. When anxiety sets into the body, or worry, or concern, or fear, we begin to create pathways that remind us over and over and over of everything we think is broken, including, I have to get more money, I have to get more money, I have to get more money. That is affirming something that is broken. Now, I am not saying not having enough is not frightening. That is not what I'm saying. But there are tools and there are mechanisms that can begin to align you with the frequency of wholeness, that begins to calm your body, your nervous pathways, remind you of the wholeness. See, when you're in alignment, when you're in this peaceful tone, you can feel it. And from this place, you begin to open up and make yourself available to something new that is seeking to emerge on your behalf or even through you. Now, in this, from this exercise, from this devotion of stopping to identify with what is broken and making a conscious effort. Remember, we are conscious co-creators with the universe. We talked about this yesterday. Making a conscious effort to align with gratitude and everything that is good. We then begin to move into the realization that nothing was ever missing. And so we begin to rise out of illusion of fragmentation. And you begin to know yourself as an undivided light. Now, that's a pretty big promise. And it's possible. And it's true. It does not mean that you are going to have everything handed to you that you want. But it absolutely means that you will experience joy and peace and harmony while the world of illusion of fragmentation is occurring. And you begin to move into the natural state of harmony. I was going to say harmonic wholeness. And this is the place where nothing is exiled from God, because God is in you and you are in God. So therefore, everything in God's world is exquisite and beautiful and juicy and whole and true and right. So today's exercise is to spend some time in gratitude. So if there is something that is replaying in your mind, I need more money, I need a job, I need my relationship to work, I need a house, I need a car, I need an apartment. All of this is real. I am not denying this. Give gratitude for what you do have in its place and start reconditioning your mind. I have gratitude that I have 2 legs to walk. I have a best friend who passed away a few years ago, and he spent all of his life. He was shot at 23 in the back, and he was paralyzed and spent his whole life in the wheelchair. This man had more gratitude than 10 of us put together for the life he had. I always asked him, how do you do that? And he would say, baby girl. He would always say, baby girl, you got to get right with God. That's what he would say to me. You got to get right with God. You got to get into alignment, get into position, and make yourself ready and available for the goodness that is there for you. And it was a big lesson for me. I was talking about my grandmother today with my mom. She's 96. This woman, I swear she loves life. She loves life, and there is nothing that has taken her down. She still lives alone. There's nothing that's taken her down. And she gets up every day excited to be alive. And she's fallen twice and was in the hospital this week. And she just thinks life is worth living. She's teaching me something, right? She's teaching me something. So I say that our circumstances do not dictate our gratitude, because there's always something to find to be grateful for. So find it, because that is the elixir for what we believe is broken within us. So loves, our affirmation. Wholeness is my natural state, and nothing within me is exiled from God. I am a loved child of God. And our prayer today, closing us out, infinite love, infinite love. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, Universe, help me to rest in the completeness of your design, in the wholeness of this design, to be a conscious co-creator with you, illuminating the beautiful universe that is. And let every thought of lack dissolve in the truth of your love, of your generosity, of your grace, and of your mercy, knowing that I am already whole in you and a reflection of you. And so it is. Amen, amen, amen.